Real talk.
Two generations, nothing off the table. Welcome to Chicken Butt and Ream. Parenting and being parented. Um, I guess I could speak for me first. I'll speak for me and then I'll let you kind of speak to your experience of being parented. Um, for me, I grew up a single mom. Single mom. Um, my dad was around sometimes, but not so much. Um, Although I had a physical presence of a mom, parenting was really on me. Like as far as I can remember, I made my own choices.
Parenting yourself and
Right.
siblings.
Parenting myself and parenting my siblings. I will say that I was never parented. I don't think I was, especially since I am a mother and, I have experience of two parent household raising you and your sister. Um, I never had the experience of being parented, and I think that it trickled down in how you and your sister was parented. Like I took all of the things that I didn't have, and tried to make sure that you and your sister had those things,
Right.
which a lot of times overcompensated for a lot of different things.
Yeah. I don't know if it overcompensated. I think a lot of it was good. I just think, I don't know, the way I view as far as like what I would take from you parenting for me, it wouldn't only be um what I didn't have, it will also be what you did give me as well. So I guess that's two different perspectives on like your experience and my experience. Like you said, you was raised with a single mom that wasn't really in the house as well as your father, and I was raised with both parents in my house. So I would take away not only what you did give me and what you didn't give me, but yeah, both of those things basically.
But when we talk about being parented, right? Although I didn't have like a traditional mom or a traditional father, when I was coming up back in the late 70s, early 80s, right? It was like everybody was a parent, the whole neighborhood, right? We talked about that a lot. About the schools was parenting,
Yeah,
right?
like other people who come into your life and not maybe be a permanent parent, but like somebody that is a sort of an example or what, because you also had your pop pop too. So
Yeah. Oh, my pop pop. I love my pop pop. Yeah, my pop pop was like a dad to me, more than that. And he did give a lot of advice to me, and also, your dad got to meet pop pop, and so advice to him, and that's where I really learned from him, what it meant to be like someone who takes care of their family and all of those things. Like I learned that from watching him and my grandma, like what to do, what not to do, basically, and try to emulate some of those things and how we parented. Um,
I think that's funny because when you say that and when we both say that, like you growing up, you even though like you didn't have quote unquote parents, you looked to other people for parents. And I think about it now, I don't think that I ever looked at anybody else except for my parents as an example of like what a parent should be. But I don't know if is that a good thing or is that a bad thing because like you know how they say it takes a village to raise a child, right? Not I won't say you had a village because you looked to other people, but like
yeah, a village. It's a lot of people, but when you and your sister was growing up, I think y'all didn't have other people to look as parents because me and your dad was very like protective about that, like the influences, like who y'all could look to as what is the right
who he
thing.
could look to, who he was could be around as well.
Yeah, access to. We didn't allow none of that. I mean, but that again, that's because of how I was parented and how your father was parented. It created like what you call like a bubble. Like it was like a bubble around y'all. Like no, people didn't have access to you or your sister, and no, y'all wouldn't look to other people like, oh, give me advice or what you think. Yeah, it was very much blocked. And that was done intentionally because we didn't want a lot of outside influences. Um, like we was talking the other day about when you and your sister was growing up, y'all didn't have access to like social media and all of
Right.
those
We couldn't
things.
TV shows. We couldn't. Yeah.
No. You couldn't. That's the part. That's how we parented y'all. That was done intentionally to protect y'all from other things. And this goes back to even I've heard when we talked about it before about letting y'all know like what's going on and things like that. That was part of the parenting choices that we decided.
Right, but I think that you took that from how you was raised because I remember you saying that you grew up learning to be seen and not heard. So that's kind of the same thing basically.
Hmm. Yeah, very much so. It's like listen to what I say, not necessarily what I do. And how you and your sister was raised, it was listen to what I say and what I do. It was very much like we had to be like the perfect parents. I remember feeling like that a lot when I was parenting y'all.
I think every parent feels like that though. But I think uh no parent is perfect. No parent is perfect and every child is gonna have something to say about what their parent didn't do or what they should have did.
Yeah, I'm sure. I just didn't want it to be what I experienced from my parents. And I guess you know how now it's like a big thing about breaking generational curses and all of that. I, your father and I really wanted to lean into that. Lean into that. Like y'all had a totally different childhood, like something that I could only dream about. And even today, I just be like, dang, dang. Dang. Even I remember like when y'all was little, I would come into y'all rooms and I literally would stand there. I think I would say it to you sometimes like, "Oh my God, your room is so nice." Like when I was a kid, if I only had a room like this.
I think that put pressure on us a lot though. It put a lot of pressure on us because it was like we had to be able to fulfill y'all dreams basically. That's what it felt like. Because you didn't have it as a kid and I do have it as a kid, I'm supposed to be doing 10 times better than you. And like not supposed to. Yeah, but at the same time I'm a kid. I get what you're about to say. It's like
No, you supposed to
I
do
am supposed to
better
be
than your
doing 10 times
parents.
better. But I am supposed to do better than you. But at the same time it's like it felt like there wasn't no room to mess up because you would say you have this and you have that, you shouldn't be messing up, basically.
Basically, I mean, that's how we saw it because we didn't have none of those things. And it's like, from our perspective, it's like if I'm providing this, and this, and literally all you have to do is be a kid, basically you had no worries. And remember, when I was a kid and your father too, we had responsibilities. Like we was out in the trenches, hustling, getting it.
I think that because you had your experience, that shouldn't negate my experience.
No, it don't negate your experience.
Downplayed though, because you saying when I was a kid, I had to do this, this, and that, and because you was given this as a kid, you should be able to do this, but you not me as a kid, so you wouldn't know what. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you saying, but also you don't you wasn't when I was a kid either. I'm just speaking from
I'm not negating your experience. What you went through was hard.
I think I'm negating your experience though.
Downplayed. I changed the word. Downplayed.
I don't know if it's being downplayed though. I just feel like you have access to so many resources. Like just imagine you growing up without even access to a parent. Like no access at all.
I'm not disagreeing with you at all. But what's happening right now is that rhetoric right there is what I mean by it's getting downplayed. Whenever I talk about my experience, you didn't bring up your experience and say, imagine if you didn't have blah 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 blah. And I'm not saying that, oh, I was supposed to be I wasn't supposed to be doing good or I was supposed to be messing up. But I'm saying that put a lot of pressure on us and that we wasn't able to mess up or we wasn't supposed to mess up at all, like not one mistake. We had to be perfect too because you was building your dream life and we was living what you wanted to have as a kid.
Well, what I'm going to say to that is that I never looked at it as I wanted y'all, like, I'm looking at y'all like a dream of mine. Like, I never looked at y'all like that. I wanted y'all to have y'all own dreams and whatever your dreams was to live it out fully. Like, that's what I always wanted to do, not to live out my dream that I had as a kid. Because to be honest, when I was a kid, I didn't even have time to dream. Like I wanted to create space for you and your sister to be even able to dream. Like so I think that's like a a miscommunication or something like that. Um you and your sister being parented and being perfect, I can understand how you felt, right? Because I also had that pressure too. Like I felt as a kid coming up that I had to be perfect to even be seen or loved.
Yeah, I think when we talk about like the things that we would do differently, I think especially when we have conversations about you being parented, we always talk about like what you learned about what not to do and what you did want to do. So I wanted to ask you, and I know you like question, but I wanted to ask you, did you take anything good from being parented? Oh yeah, because I feel like we don't never have this conversation, and it's always like what you wouldn't take. Like when if I was to talk about you, if I was to talk about you and what I would take from you, I would say like you was like a really good mom. You loved us.
What would I take? I think I took a lot of things in subconsciously. That's what I'm going to say because when I like
Like
when
good. I'm
yeah,
saying
good.
good.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Good, subconsciously good. And what I'm going to say is that my getting on you guys about cleaning up, like those. I mean, to me, that's good. You got to keep a clean house. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You asked me, so I'm telling you. No, you asked me, so I mean, those are things that I remember from my childhood. I remember those things. My mom like would go off about a spoon or a fork in the sink, but I'm relating it back to a clean house. Like to me, that's good. Like you gotta keep a clean house. Your hygiene, like when I say clean, yes, like clean.
Is there anything else besides how to take care of yourself? Like that's what I'm asking. You talking about a clean house, but really that's a bad memory because you used to say that it used to be bad if you left the spoon in the sink.
Yeah, it used to be bad, but I like to be clean.
Right. Okay. But is there anything that you would take besides taking care of yourself?
From how I was parented, I don't. This is really bad. I feel bad about this,
I
but
mean, it's just a question that I had because I don't think you had ever mentioned like anything good, or even not even from your mom and your dad, but somebody else in your life about you know how to be parented and how to parent.
this is so bad. I can't even recall right now. Because again, like I always told you, I always felt like I was a parent. I don't remember being parented. I don't remember being parent. Like I never had a curfew. Responsibilities. I had those responsibilities, but that's just because again, the situation that I was in. I never like, had anybody like to check up on me in that kind of way. Or like I can't remember my mom going to a parent teacher conference or coming up to the school. I went from school to school. I don't like the things that I've done for you and your sister, your dad and I. Mm-mm.
What about affection? Not necessarily doing stuff, but affection.
No, I wasn't. Mm-mm. It wasn't like big. Give me a hug. Give me a kiss. I love you. You did good. No, I don't remember none of that. We real affectionate around here. I'd be like, give me a kiss. Give me a hug. No, I don't remember none of that.
That you didn't turn out to be one of those bitter parents and moms after your experience because I think it's easy to kind of when you do have a child replicate what you saw instead of changing it. I think that's easier to do. But yeah. hmm And y'all gave us good examples for like how we would want to parent and stuff like that.
hmm Well, what would you have wanted me to do different in my parenting?
I it's always gonna come back to the same thing for me. I think well I'll say something different, but it's related to the same thing. Outside factors do not have anything to do with your kids. I think a lot of the times you would be upset about outside things, and when you come home, we would get the brunt of it. Yeah. And then also listening to my kids a little bit more. I think growing up, you really had like a big you really put a big weight into what adults told you.
That's not true.
Yes, we have
No,
had this
no,
conversation
we
before.
have, and I
You
will
listen to
repeat
what the
it.
adults
No,
said.
that is not true. I do not.
You, in my opinion, you listen.
Give
Let's
example.
say, in my opinion, you
Give me
listen
an
to.
example.
I'm gonna give the same example every single time. In elementary school, when we first started going to after school, right? And I had to start walking myself to after school. I had got jumped, and I was late.
I'm not laughing at you
I
getting
don't care.
jumped though. But wait, I'm not laughing at you getting jumped though. But this is it's just a crazy situation. But go ahead. You say you
How
got
is it a crazy
because
situation?
I'm gonna let you finish telling the story.
Okay. I had got jumped, and then I was late to the aftercare. The I'm gonna say I don't care. The big fat white lady. No, they picked her up from 'cause she was still in kindergarten, so they would pick her up, and I would have to walk myself to after school. Yeah. The big white lady. She she told you I don't care. I didn't like her. She
I
told you.
loved her though.
Yeah, and
I
that's
did. I loved
I'll
her.
explain that after
I
too
loved
because
her.
yeah.
But then I go back to my village though with parenting. So can I address that or I'll let you
Yeah,
finish
let
and
me
then I
finish
go
first.
yeah I'll let you finish and then I'll go back to that.
She told you that I was late to the aftercare. And I'm not gonna lie, I was really late, but I was really late because I really got jumped and they took me after school and they said, "Do you want us to do anything?" And I said no. But mind you, I said no because
How many people jumped you?
I don't know, like three.
Huh, they beat you up bad? Cause you
No,
ain't look like you got
not
jumped.
really. but
We can laugh about it
she
now, but
she
okay, go
had told
ahead.
you I was late. And I swear you gave me the meanest woman. I was scared. I was hiding underneath the bed. You lifted up the bed like Hulk. You lifted up the bed like Hulk. You didn't even ask me no questions or nothing. You just said I was late and that was it. That's my thing. When I say listen to your kids and you put in too much um weight
That's the
in what
only
adults
example
said.
that you ever
No, I
give. That
have
is the
other
only
examples. I
example
have other
that you
examples as
ever
well, but
give.
that's the first memory that I ever have of like, oh,
I felt bad about that and I
mhm,
apologize to you, but you gotta remember, it's just me and your father, right?
right,
And you going to after school and being late, I'm working, right? It causes bad anxiety for me. So I don't know what happened. And that lady that you are referring to was part of my village,
right, and
right?
that's another
She
thing.
made
She
sure
all
that
you
y'all was she no, she made sure that you and your sister was good. She would call me with anything. And I appreciated that because I didn't have, when you
right,
raising
you
kids,
on your when you give that to those adults and they feel like they can say anything to me. They feel like they can say anything to me and Jayla, and anything they said, I'm trying to tell you.
one at the YMCA, one at the YMCA.
Even teachers you would listen to, mommy.
No, that's not true.
Yes.
I'm not agreeing with that because I done fussed out plenty of teachers. Girl, I done fussed out teachers. I done made them a
Maybe
whole,
little sister, but not for me.
well, and you got to remember, I had you when I was so young.
Right, but mommy, I'm
And
not
again,
making.
I wasn't parented. I was learning as we was learning together.
But the question was, I do differently? And I'm answering the question, okay, based on my experience. Yes, you have learned and grown because, like you said, you was really young when you had kids, so you didn't even have time. I wanted to ask you that though too, but you didn't even have time to really learn more about yourself. I feel like for me, being 24, like I know like a lot about myself. So if I was to have kids now, I don't know if I could. I would be a better parent than what you were.
Yeah,
But how do you
of
think that
course
that
you would be a
affected
better
your?
parent because now your kid is going to have grandparents, a grandmom, and a pop-up. Like what? Lit.
Well,
Of
I'm talking
course.
about me as a parent. I'm not talking
Yes,
about
but you as a
you
parent, you
saying
wouldn't even,
support.
yeah, because you would have support. So then you can operate from a space of fullness. I was always operating from a space of depletion. Like that's the thing that you got to remember too is that it was just me and your dad. Like that's it, and we both was working.
I mean, I know I was there.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. You are going to have a different experience raising your kids because that village is already built in. It's already built in. Me and your father, had to create that. We had to create that with the lady you referring to at after school, the YMCA lady. Like, things that people that we had to surround y'all with to help us raise y'all because, we was working. But what was the question you asked me? I forgot what you asked me. How
Do you think, like, if you was to learn yourself a little bit more, that that would affect your parenting?
a whole lot. I mean, we talk about stuff now, and those are the things that I would do differently. Like, listen more. Like, I would listen more. I would pause more. Like, my energy. Like, I was like so stressed and I was about perfection too. And I think a lot of times I focused on things that was because of my own childhood trauma stuff, right? And like how you said, you felt like y'all had to be perfect and all of that. That's from my own parenting. So those are the things that I would do differently if I knew myself better. Like how I know myself now, whole different experience.
I think it's funny because I think the experience would have been different too if you would have like had a different child. And I'm gonna say
What you mean a different child?
a good kid. Oh yeah,
You was very much like me. Like I gave birth to yeah, you was very easy, very easy,
easy. Yeah.
very easy. You didn't very easy. You was just easy going. And that's how I was as a kid too. That's how I was as a kid too. So like now when I see you at 24 and when you bring up things that, it's like I want to make sure that we talked about this that I'm not drowning your voice and stuff with my parenting. Like cuz I know when you was coming up, you were so easy because you just wanted it to be easy that you didn't push back.
I still love my mom, and I think I could tell that she was going through a hard time, and I didn't want to make it harder.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for that. Look at my little tears. Thank you for that. But then your kid, like when you become a parent and you start parenting, like you have somebody to call. Like, oh, mom, my child, da 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 da. So, what would you take from what you learned from your parents into your parenting? And what would you leave behind?
Well, I already said what I would do differently. What I would take is, like I said, I think you loved us a lot.
How you know I loved you a lot?
You would show affection, like you said. You would show affection, and then also I think that you just wanted us to do good, and and I think that's how I always translated that you loved us. You always wanted us to do good. You wanted to protect us from certain things. Like we wasn't allowed to do a lot of things. Like I said in the last episode, I wasn't gonna ask to go out because I already knew that you wasn't gonna allow us to go out. But clearly, you protecting us from something.
Y'all went out though.
No, we went out with people that you knew. We didn't go out with nobody that you didn't know.
Clearly, like, why would I have my kids go out with people I don't know? You gonna have your kids go out with people you don't know? That you don't know?
See, my friends can have my kids will have friends outside of who I'm friends with and their kids. Yes.
Y'all could be friends with people outside of who I'm friends with and their kids. But again, you not gonna go places with people I don't know. And so you saying that in your parenting you would allow that in today's time?
I'm saying that when you say go out, what do you mean?
You said that. You said I would allow.
I'm saying for me, you didn't even allow me to go to the park. You at least allowed J-Lo to go to the park. And however the times progress, then I will adjust my parenting based on that. But if I'm going off based off that, then it was like going to the park and stuff.
Oh yeah, no. Because I would take you to the park. I would go
No,
with you.
that's my point, mommy. You allowed my sister to go to the park by herself. I wasn't even allowed to do that.
Well, you was the oldest.
Okay, but mommy, again, just because I'm saying this doesn't just because I'm saying this doesn't mean that I'm saying that I'm just saying from my experience. You don't have to apply an excuse to it.
I'm not applying the excuse, but when you say that I didn't allow you to go to the park, that is I don't recall that. That's what I'm saying because we went to the park all the time. You talking about allow you to go to the park by yourself? Girl, you just told a story about how you got jumped in elementary.
When I was at school,
Clearly, and what you think gonna happen at the park? That's what I'm trying to.
The reason why that even happened, mommy, is because you want to know why that happened. You want to know why that
You
happened.
want me to crash out. You want me to crash out.
When you want to
You
finish
want
up,
me to crash
you
out.
know why that happened. That happened because uh, I had just transferred to that school. It was my first year in public school. Yeah, in second grade. Yes, I got dropped in second grade because the kid. That's what I was trying to tell you. You didn't know. Let me
Never. It ain't
finish.
happening.
Okay,
But
whatever.
go ahead,
No,
finish.
no, you go on to what you want to talk about now. You
No,
go.
go ahead. I want you to
No,
talk about it. Because you said second grade you got jumped. Go ahead.
I'm saying that happened because I transferred to the school and they was mad because all the boys had liked me.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Girl, they was mad. They was like, where did she come from? With your little beads and your cute little face. And not only that, you had a mom and dad that walked you to school every day. Your dad was not playing.
Yes, I did have a mom and dad that walked me to school every day with my eighth grades and everything. And every day on the first day of school, I would be one of the only kids with school
With all your
supplies.
supplies, your beads, looking all cute. I think I got a picture too with the girls. They was just looking at you like, who she thinks she is? And not only that, you came from Islamic school,
Right.
and it was like a culture shock for you
Yeah,
too.
it was a
Yeah,
big culture
it
shock.
was a big difference from that to going to public school. It was like, what the heck? And so, yes, I was. Kids is not nice. And you talking about let you go to the park by yourself, girl? No.
No, but I'm saying. Okay, mommy. That's okay. Mhm. No, because I'm you saying let me go to the park by myself. I'm not saying when I was a little kid. Let my sister do that. You didn't even let me do that.
No, I didn't let
No.
you do that because I didn't let you do that because
Yes.
no, I didn't let you do that. And
So
not
what I said
only
is
you, yeah, it stands. Okay, that's fine. But me and your dad, we parented you in a way where you had a bunch of activities that you was doing anyway. Like both of y'all schedules was jam packed. It was like no way that y'all had time to do any of that.
so let's talk about you being a mom and also Islamic because like growing up you would wear your hijab and your kimar. So like where was that like your parenting around that?
Yeah, that was a big, our religion played a big role into all of these things too, because we was very religious, right? Meaning that we was not playing about, we was covering, we was praying, like y'all only could eat halal. Everything was just like halal, and it
I
was like,
remember one time, no, when we started going to the Y, and y'all told them we was vegetarian, we could not eat.
yeah, no meat. They could not
We
eat
could
none
not
of that
eat
meat.
none of
Don't
it.
give them no kind of meat.
It didn't matter if it was beef,
Yep,
chicken,
it
it didn't
didn't matter
matter.
if it wasn't because I knew that
Yeah.
wasn't allowed. They wasn't feeding y'all that, so I told them that y'all couldn't eat none of that stuff. And so in Islam, like it's certain practices and based off our religion, like it's just certain things that we could do and not do, and so that impacted how y'all was parented as well, right?
I think I would take away like growing up. I remember we would read the Quran like we would read the Quran all together. We would take turns reading the Quran. That's something that I would take. Also, like praying with your family. That's something that I would take away as well. Like implementing that in the home because I feel like that was good. And
And y'all went to Saturday school, like
yeah, I
y'all
went to
learned a
Saturday school.
lot. You know a whole bunch of surahs, how to read Arabic, and like all of those things. So when you say what shaped you, like me being a parent and your father being your father, like us being Muslim impacted how we parented our children. And so going to the park, like when you say those things, it's like now when I think about it and reflect, I'm like, yeah, but as Muslims, like a lot of things we didn't do or we didn't allow y'all to experience because it wasn't good for y'all.
Right,
That's how we deduced it that that just wasn't good
right.
for y'all to be out hanging out with the kufars and all of that.
I get what you're trying to say. I just think that it was a different. It was me and my sister have a different experience in terms of how we parented, and that's just what I'm pointing out. She was given. I don't want to say freedoms because, like again, like you said, it's like Islamic practices, but like she was,
But they
just
do
a little
say,
bit more free.
yeah, but they do say that even if you grow up in the same house, you don't get the
No,
same
you don't get the
parents.
same parents. Yeah,
Right.
no,
So
agree
by
with
the
that.
time she came along, she received, because now we got a little bit of experience.
Right.
We got a little bit of experience because you was like 3.5, about to be 4.
Right.
So it's like now, okay,
And you know how I always say like the firstborn is the trial and error, right? You know, I talk about that a lot. So
Yes, you do.
I wanna know like your perspective on that, right? With you and your siblings
Uh-huh.
in terms of like trial and error with your parents. What do you feel like was the difference between the parenting between you and then the rest of your siblings?
so if I say I didn't get parented, right? And I didn't get parented. And so, like I said, the last time I was like a parent for my siblings, right? And so when they was underneath my care, they was they listened, they obeyed and all of that. But by the time I was in high school and went off to college, that's when everything went haywire. Parenting. There was no parenting there. There's no parent and they just went off the rails. So I think that was the difference. I think you and I have a unique perspective because although I'm your mom and you my daughter, we both are the oldest. So we have experience from that perspective. So like when you and your sister talk or get into it, right? I understand your perspective because you are the oldest sister and I know what that's like and the pressures that come with that.
Right.
Mm. Cause that's the thing as well. Like even though like I had both of my parents, when y'all wasn't around, I basically was the parents of my sister. Cause I'm the oldest.
Not
She don't
really.
listen.
Yeah, I'm about
Oh
to
my
say. No,
gosh.
it's not. You know what? It's not that she don't listen. It's what I'm gonna
She's
say is
one of
that
the
she
most.
always have a voice. Yeah, she always had her own voice. Ever since the be, she always had her own voice. She wasn't like her personality is very much different from yours. Like how you said you was easygoing, you went along with it. She was not having it, and you know you gotta respect that. She just not. She not. And as the oldest, that's something that I know that I wish I could have had, right? And I don't know if you wish
You
that
wish you could have had.
my own perspective and just did me and not
Um,
have to feel like, I gotta be.
to go back and change. I don't know if I would go back and change it. I would be a different person than I was if I was to go back and change it. I don't know if I ever wish
Wait, you
that
say you don't know if you would go back and change it, but then say you would be a different.
if I was to go back and change.
You would be a different person, or you
If
wouldn't.
I was to have my own voice, I would be a different person. Yes. Hmm. I would be a different person than who I am right now because like my experiences with you and parenting and my sister and everything else shaped really who I became and who I was. So if I was to go back and be like, oh, I have a voice, I would be a different person than I am now. Like a lot of things in my life, I feel like would have changed. But do I like be like, I wish I had a voice sometimes? Back then, no, I don't never say that. I say I wish I had a voice now. Like I want to have a voice now. I don't think I ever said I wish I had a voice then.
Do you feel like now, like how you're older, you're 24 now, so parenting shifts as you know the ages. So how do you feel about you being parented right now and your voice like developing and you speaking out and having your own POV? How do you feel about your mom and dad parenting you right now?
I think right now, if I'm being honest, I feel like y'all don't. It's very clear for me now that y'all don't have a map. So it's like y'all are trying to figure it out too. So it's like we both figuring it out together. And I think me now, like being 24 years old, I'm able to, at least in my head, subconsciously give grace to y'all and not take it as like I don't know, like offensive type of thing.
Like we should already know.
Right.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
But
Because it's the first. I say this to
I
y'all. Go ahead.
I think that this is like y'all you never had the experience of like how to parent your kids as a child young, but you knew like what you didn't have then. But like me being 24 now, you already had kids and everything, so you was focused on you being a parent yourself and not really being parented. So you don't know what you is supposed to look like to be parented at this age, especially because I don't have kids and I don't have a husband. Like maybe if I did, you would be able to be like, oh, this is what I would have wanted when I was at this stage in my life. So I want to give that to her. But right now, it's kind of in a stage to where you never been in. and we navigate in that space
Yeah,
together.
navigating that space together. Um, that's absolutely true because, like you said, when 24, what? I had two kids, almost two kids, a husband, I owned a house, um, working. Like, it just looked a lot different than, what you are experiencing. Yeah, had people living with me. Like, it's just a lot of responsibilities that I had. So that looks a lot different versus you being 24 and you know, but that's exactly what your father and I wanted for you. Like, so it's like from your parents' point of view, from my point of view, and from your dad's point of view, is refreshing to watch you develop who you are. Like, as a woman, um, even though we didn't get to experience that. But we love to see you, navigate, and we appreciate the grace that's given. We appreciate the grace that's given because we talk about it all the time. We talk about it all the time. Um, and it
And I
makes us
think,
happy.
yeah, I think that's one of the about parenting and like being parented is that you always want to learn something. And like I said before, not everybody's perfect. And like once you get to a certain point in terms of age and in life, you kind of realize that like not everybody's perfect. A kid is always going to have something to say about what they should have done because we don't have the answers, right? Because they still coming up with parenting techniques like gentle parenting, which dumb. But
Gentle parenting don't work. Yeah, let's get into that though. Gentle parenting. Let's talk about that because your father had a totally different outlook on how discipline should look versus my outlook on discipline. You want to talk about that? Parenting
sure.
versus because you gave the example of how you came home from after school, you was late and I was upset and I like, flipped the bed over, right? Talk about how you was disciplined, you and your sister.
I was a good kid. I really didn't get disciplined that much. But I think whenever I did get disciplined, when it came to you, it just felt like it was like over. Yeah, it was over the top. Like it just felt like it was over the top. Like when I think about it, like some of the stuff, it just be like it just that shit shouldn't have. That didn't call for that. That didn't. And it's just like, well, maybe it was worse. Then we educate you like, well, maybe it was worse.
No, but that's just who I am as a now. But when you think about it now, though, right? You can say, "Yo, like my mom is crazy," because that's how I am. It's like I'm nice, 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 but then it's like I snap, and that's just what happens. But your sister will say that your dad he don't believe in spanking or none of that. That's what I'm saying. Speak to that part because he would do what?
I don't know. I never really got in trouble with other before.
Yeah, but you saw how your dad was. You saw how your dad parented your sister.
He just do the finger.
Yeah, the finger. And then it's like talk, 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 talk. And I would be telling him, you need to whoop them. You need to whoop them.
And that's not
What
right.
they
That's not right.
belt to
That's not
and
right.
he would never do
That's
it.
not
He would
right.
never do it. He said he would be like, I'm not whipping my kids. I don't believe in that. I'm not whipping my kids. And y'all, it just never happened. It just never happened. So then when I
We was good kids. I'm trying to say, so to say to like to whoop a good kid is crazy. Like that's just unbelievable to me because we was good
what
kids.
constitutes a good kid? Y'all was good kids
We
though.
was good
Y'all was
kids. Like
good.
we
Y'all
was
was
not
good.
bad
Y'all
kids.
was not bad.
And then also
No,
like I think
no.
that it started going into taking the phone away because this is another thing that I would probably change as well. But again, the times are a little bit different. But even when I was in high school, he would still take my phone away, like at night.
Absolutely.
At night
No, y'all had to
before,
turn your phone in.
yeah, we had to
Yeah, put
turn
it
the
on the
phone in.
dresser. I was not playing. I was not
Like,
playing those games.
oh my
Yes, I
god,
very much parented. Like, put your phone on the dresser. What was it at 9 o'clock? That
yes.
phone had to be on
And
the
mind you, I'm
dresser.
in
You
high
and your
school. Like,
sister
it
though,
was just
but
getting
y'all went to an all
ridiculous.
girls high school, and you can't. What I'm going to ask you is, I'm sure that saved you from a lot of drama. A lot of drama was happening at night on them phones.
I wouldn't know because I wasn't on the phone. I wouldn't know because I wasn't on the phone. I mean, like thinking about it now, Yes, because even like when we talk about what we were talking about last week about friendships and stuff like that, like no offense, but those people just wasn't going to be in my life.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It was nothing but drama.
Yeah,
It was
but
nothing
yeah,
but drama, and so it
so maybe
saved y'all
yes,
from the
so maybe
drama.
yes. But like when we
Yeah.
go TV stuff, I agree with you. I would not let my kids watch TV shows or nothing. But I will say this: we was sneaking, and if y'all know this show, we was sneaking to watch House of Anubis, y'all. Like that's
House
how
of Anubis. I don't even
yeah,
know what that
exactly.
was.
It was a show on Nickelodeon. It was very kid friendly. It wasn't. We was sneaking to watch House of Anubis. Like that's how strict it was.
I was not letting no influences brainwash my kids. I was not doing that. We was very much, I look, I look, I look, I
Yes,
see. I see the words of beauty. No, we was very much listening to the Islamic
yes,
CDs,
yes.
Mary J. Blige,
We
all
with the
day and
Disney
night,
Channel. What's it
Disney
called? No,
Channel.
Radio Disney, but also Kids Bop. We was
Yeah,
Kids
Kids
Bop
Bob.
Central.
We definitely was into
We was so
hip
kids.
hop.
Yeah, we was so Kids Bop Central that when the regular song would come on, that I would sing the Kids Bop version. I didn't know that it was a difference.
Period. We very much believe that kids should be kids, and that again came from our experience
I
because
agree as
we
well.
wasn't allowed to be kids. Me and your father didn't have the opportunity to just be kids, and so we wanted to give y'all that. So any outside influences that was going to, take y'all away from being a kid is like no, they need to be kids as long as they can.
Yeah.
And other cultures they allow their kids to be kids until they like 35. We watch the shows. Summer House, Bravo, The Valley. They be like 35 and 40 and still acting like they little kids. And
Yeah.
we not allowed it or afforded those opportunities for our kids. No, I want y'all to be able to experience being the age that you are. Like, don't grow up too fast.
Right.
Don't grow up too fast because we had to grow up too fast. So that definitely impacted on how y'all was parented. For me and your dad, like that was very much intentional. That was very much intentional.
Yeah. I agree with like the kid being a kid. Like that should be a thing. I definitely think like the iPads nowadays is not good for these kids because they just sitting and scrolling. And also I think that comes from the parents as well though because they don't want to be parents and at the same I don't think that they want to be parents. If you stick your kid on an iPad all day, you don't want to be a parent. You have to take your kid outside and like play with them and stuff like that. And I get like it's dangerous outside, but like you said, taking your kid to the park and you staying outside the park, that makes it a little bit more safer. Not just taking your kid outside. And even kids, I mean parents are not sending their kids outside. Like when we was younger, we would at least go and play on the block.
However, it take a lot of work. Like that was not easy to do. Like to be a present parent, like how you said, take the kids to the park and all of that stuff.
Not easy to do, but you still made the decision to go through with it and have the kid. So you understood that what you was doing.
Yeah, but people have kids and don't want to be parents. Like
Right. But I'm saying that you saying that it's not easy, it's not a good enough excuse for people that don't want to be parents.
I'm absolutely not trying to give nobody no excuse because I know what it's like to parent um in a way that you are present.
I wanted to get into a little bit about parenting your parent.
Oh, whoa, let's speak about it. You had to parent your parent?
I think in some ways, yes.
Okay, talk about it.
Um, I think when I started to say, you
Parenting
need
your
your
parent or teaching your parents is something different. But go ahead.
when I started to say that you needed your mom, that's when I realized that I was parenting my parent a little bit too much. I can't help you. You need your mom. Like you being emotional about, like, let's use your graduation for example, right? You needed your mom. That's what you needed. You needed somebody that was going to celebrate you, and because they seen all that you had gone through, and you needed your mom. But it's like you wanted that from us, and it's like I can't give you that. At times when I was growing up, maybe when you was emotional a little bit, I would hug you and be like, "I hope you okay," trying to make you feel better.
I would agree to that. I would agree to that if you put it in that context, in that perspective. But I definitely don't want. That's not your responsibility.
No, that's why I said I
Yeah,
started to realize that that's not, I can't help you
yeah,
with
yeah,
that. It
yeah,
doesn't matter what I do. You're still
yeah,
going to feel that way because you don't have, you know,
yeah.
your mom.
And we are very open about that. Like
Hmm.
that's not an expectation. Like I said, and you know that's not your expectation. But again, I'm human. This is my first
Right,
time living life too.
right,
So you know I'm going to have emotions or whatever the case may
right,
be that I'm processing through.
right,
And that was a instance where that happened. And
right.
I'm sure, like you said, when you was younger, it probably popped up more.
Like I said, I think like when I start having situations to where like I really needed my mom, that's when I looked at it and I was like, oh, she need her mom. I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Because you know, when you need your mom, you have
Yeah, I'm
access.
gonna call my mom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you have access.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's crazy because you know how nowadays everybody is talking about what they call it when you don't have access or you breaking access up with your parents. I forgot. They have a name
estranged.
for it. Yeah, they have a name for it. I don't know. Oprah did like a whole episode about it. Um, it's crazy because you can like I can say I don't have access or me and my mom don't have a relationship, right? But because I am a mom, as I go through life and things happen, I am still going to have those feelings. I am because I'm human. That's the way Allah created us, right? I am still going to have that. And so it's up to me to learn how to process through it and then move on. So that's a lifelong thing that is going to happen until your parent passes away. But even if, when your parent passes away, I think that your mom is still going to be somebody that you are going to long,
Need,
long for. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
need. It's not long
Yeah,
for. It's
need.
need. You
Yeah.
need,
Yeah,
need.
you need the
Hmm.
love and support and
Right,
care and attention from your mom. You
right.
do. You need that to be a whole healthy person, but then when you don't have it, you have to learn how to live without
Without
that.
it. Hmm.
You have
Yeah,
to learn how to live without it. Yeah.
yeah.
That's just like in
Um,
Islam they
when
say your mother, your mother, your mother, and then your father. Yeah, yeah.
uh,
They used to be our
I'm
jam.
trying to
They
tell
used
you,
to be our
we
jam.
was talking
You
about it
tried to
earlier
say
the
it was
weekend. I was
brainwashing
saying
you.
we was
It was
being
no,
brainwashed.
sing it,
Oh
sing it,
yeah,
sing it,
I
sing it,
got everything how
sing
the
it.
song goes.
Yeah, say
Oh
the
my
song.
God,
Say
yeah,
the
I'm
song.
forgetting. I'm blinking.
Say the song,
I'm
bro.
blinking.
I look, I look,
No,
I
that's I
look,
look, I
I
look,
see.
I
Oh,
see.
who's next?
Your
Your mother.
mother, who's
Who's
next?
next?
Your
Your mother.
mother,
Who's
and
next?
then
Your
your
mother. Three
father.
times.
'Cause who
Who's
used
going
to
to hold
hold
you
you
and
and buy
buy
you
you
new
new
clothes?
clothes?
I'm
Who
trying to
really
tell y'all,
give
we
you
was being
more than you
brainwashed.
are?
That was the
Till
song.
you go. You
But
wasn't being brainwashed. I
no,
mean,
no, I
I
was
know what you're
joking when
saying.
I
You
say
joking.
that.
Yeah,
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 I'm
yeah.
joking when I
But
say
it just tells you how important like your mother is.
yeah.
How important your mother is
Mm-mm.
and how, your relationship with your mother impacts the trajectory of your life,
Right.
right? Um
I wanted to ask you, because I know we was talking about parenting your parent. In what ways do you think that you parented your parents?
I was a parent.
Saying parenting your parents, not you being a parent to your siblings. You parenting your parents.
Oh, I could remember times in when I was in high school or college, like the mom would call to tell me like what was going on, and then I'm like telling her
How
what
to
to
deal with.
do, how to deal with them. Yeah, that would happen a lot, a lot. Mom would be like, they gotta come with you because that's how they ended up living with me and stuff. So yeah, that would happen a lot. And even when I was younger, I would be paying for stuff. Like she would give me money. Back then we had what food stamps, the books and stuff. Like I would be like buying food, going grocery shopping, washing clothes. That's like me parenting my parent. Yeah, 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 yeah. Cooking food, dinner. I'm like 8 years old. Like that's crazy. And you always want your kids to do better than you.
Right.
Like y'all are
Right.
doing better than me and your dad did.
Right.
When you have kids, they gonna be that much better.
Better.
Cause again, they gonna have now a bigger village and more, resources available to them.
Yeah. And I wanted to
Yeah.
say, y'all good job, and I am proud of y'all for y'all being
You and your sister too. Yeah. Go ahead. You wanted to finish. I'm sorry.
y'all for being the parents that y'all have been to us, especially from y'all circumstances and like y'all experience. And like I said in the beginning, I think it's very easy to replicate all the bad things and not change. And y'all had the courage to change.
Yeah, that's sweet. Thank you. That goes a long way. We did our best. Yes. Love you.
Thanks for tuning in.
Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube.
And follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Chicken Butt and Ring.
Real talk, two generations, nothing off the table.